What up? We're back here doing another video journal. Reality. Here's the interesting thing about living life is that most of the time, I can only speak for myself, but I am living the majority of my life in a conceptual reality. I'm viewing life through concepts and thinking that that is life, thinking that that's reality. But when you're faced with truth, which is death and love, when you come face to face with that, everything comes alive, and that's your natural state. That's reality. That you're getting in touch with existence as it is, and you're not viewing it through anything. Like the feeling of, like, if you knew you only had 5 minutes left and then you would die. That's the feeling. That you would go, oh shit, what, like, got to drop all this nonsense that I've been holding on to. I've got 5 minutes left of this life. And you would have a fucking full-blown psychedelic trip, I would reckon. You would fucking drop all the unnecessary shit that you're holding on to. And you would get in touch with the reality that is true. And you'd be like, fuck, okay, what do I need to do? And I reckon you'd just be consumed by love. And you would cry heaps. It would break your heart open. And you'd go be with your family and your friends, if you're near them. If you'd call them up and just tell them how much you love them, and you'd just get in touch with yourself, and you'd get in touch with with you being you. Like you as consciousness, as this being, like for me, being Jasper, like getting in touch with me being Jasper, and how amazing that experience is. Just you'd be consumed by gratitude, just like, fuck, like, this is me, like, I've lived this life, this is a beautiful life that I've lived, many fucking hardships, sure, but here I am now, and it's like, I look around my room and it's just like, man, this is my room, this is my life, this is my body, and this is my body, my face, and the way I talk, and like, this is me, like, well, you'd recognize that it's not you, but that you are playing this character that you always thought you were. You'd break out of your character. You'd break the identification to your character. You would identify with presence, with just pure consciousness, and you'd see that I'm not this body. I'm not me. But you'd be so fucking grateful that you are experiencing this body. You are experiencing your room and your face, and Like, it's amazing to be me. I forget that sometimes, you know. I'm always focusing on all the shit that I don't like about myself or about situations and circumstances. But really, when you're faced with death, when you really know, and not just intellectually, but when you really know on a felt, deep level that you are going to die, and it could be in any second, that really makes you so grateful of everything. Just being in this body, experiencing what it's like to be this character that you always thought you were, that you're not. The gratitude that you'd have, that, you know, realizing that you were pretending to be this character all this time, and just like looking at your body and going, fuck man, like I'm not this, and I can't believe I'd fucking thought I was and took it for granted and thought I was just like not that important. But like, this is a gift. This life is a gift. It's God's gift. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, it's so hard to actually get in touch with death, because it breaks your heart open. That's why people don't want to do it, is because there are many times in your life where you've closed your heart off and you've acted in a sort of hateful way, and no one wants to open their heart because they would just realize all the bullshit that they were doing. Realize that they're not this character, this identity. And I'd realize that it's just like focusing on all these petty shit. And so people don't want to contemplate death and get in touch with it on a felt level, because it's fucking, it's a big thing. It's really, really fucking big. It literally is gonna tear your life apart. No one wants to go through it. It's going to tear apart your whole perception of reality. And so you would open up to truth and then realize that your whole life has not been aligned with truth whatsoever. Not a whole lot, anyway. And that would break your heart. That would fucking break your heart. To realize that the vast majority of your life has not been operating from a level of truth and love. So no one wants to do the thought experiment of acknowledging that you could die at any moment. You know, you can think about it, you can rationalize it, you can philosophicalize it all day, but that's not the same as actually realizing the truth of it. Because here I am talking about it, but of course, you know, I'm not that concerned with death. It's like, oh, death, yeah, I could die at any second. Psh, I'm not going to though. I've got a long way to live. Like, I'm not. I'll die when I'm like at least 70 years old. I've got heaps of time left. But it's like, no, that's fucking fiction. That's imagination. I don't know when I'm going to die. And I say that, but still think that I've got a long life ahead of me. But that's not certain. And so when you really get in touch with that truth, time ceases to exist, space ceases to exist. You're no longer operating from a place of me and that. It merges. You become that. You become it all. It is you. And there's no time. It's always now. And you can, again, you can intellectually understand. It's like, of course it's now. The past was now. The future will be now. But like, this is what psychedelics show you. Psychedelics break down, they take away time and space, and it gets you in touch with reality, with truth. But then the psychedelics wear off, and you're back in this mind, thinking you've got a long life to live, thinking you've got to achieve things, thinking you are this body and this mind, this separate conceptual self, this separate self. But really, what I'm saying is, if you're faced with death, if you were guaranteed that you only had 5 minutes left, 5 minutes of your life left, and then you'd be dead, that would really fucking wake you the fuck up. And you would be open to love, and you would be open to who you actually are. You'd be completely present. Like, because it's just like, that's what you do in a life threatening situation. Like, I reckon, like, some people would say, like, oh, I don't know about that. If I had 5 minutes to live, I would probably be stressing out and being anxious and worrying about how much time I've got left. But you're intellectually trying to understand that and trying to see how it would be. But honestly, I really think that if if you were just faced with that situation, you've only got 5 minutes left, you would just drop all that. That doesn't even matter anymore. You would really surrender to love, surrender to reality and truth. Honestly, like, and this is really what enlightenment is really dying before you die, dying in every moment, being reborn in every billionth of a second, every billionth of a trillionth of a second of a moment. Every moment you die and be reborn. And you know yourself as nothing. You know yourself as nothing, but at the same time, everything. Well, you don't know yourself. You're so close to yourself that you can't even know yourself. It's just experience. But of course, that is the eternal I, the Tao, God, reality, love, truth, infinity. That's who you are. And you'd really get in touch with that when faced with death. You know, that's why people who have near-death experiences experience similar psychedelic states. They experience like something profound. I haven't looked into it that much, so I don't know actually, but they experience God, you know. People who've had near-death experiences are like, I saw God. It's like, of course you did, because you're about to die. And you drop your whole fucking ego. And you see truth, you see reality for how it actually is. And so this is really what I want to do. I really want to die before I die, because only then can you live properly. Only then can you be loving everything and be so grateful for everything. And that's what we all want, isn't it? We all want to be in a state of love and gratitude. That's bliss. But of course, a lot of me, of course, is not willing to pursue this, because it like I said, it fucking breaks your heart open. You you've like there's a lot to lose. You lose your whole identity. You lose who you think you are. You lose your whole story. You know, we're so attached to, I'm so attached to being Jasper. I'm so attached to my body and my mind, and identified with it. And so I'm not willing to give that up. But only when you're willing to give up your body, only then can you start living with love and gratitude. But of course, who the fuck's willing to give up their body? Who the fuck is willing to die? But let me tell you, if you do that, there's just love and truth there. And that's existence. That's true. It's truth. It's reality. And who doesn't want truth? We're all looking for truth, really. Everything we do is trying to, well, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching.